Why would that particular team, like, wasn't that the one where the org just decided one day, like, yeah, like, it's just over, see you, everyone? Like, what happened with that team?
Yeah. So my perspective on what happened was, Sabrosa said to, I don't remember if it was the manager or the GM, that he didn't believe in my system, and that's why he wasn't like, I would say things, I would call for things, and he would just like ignore it and just do something else. And he told them in like a one-on-one talk, like that's why he doesn't like follow my lead. And I'm like, we have a player on the team that won't buy into the system. Like I can't IGL a team like that. So we replaced him, and part of the talk was we wanted to have like a different culture, like a culture of like working hard and grinding and stuff like that. And for everything that Freakazoid talked, we're like, okay, well, I mean, he would probably be a good fit for the culture. So we dropped Sabrosa and we got Freakazoid on the team. Yeah. But Wardell was really unhappy with that, because he didn't know that we were dropping Sabrosa. He was really good friends with Sabrosa, and I think he might have had like a broken telephone, something where he thinks that I was like kind of scheming and up to no good and stuff like that. And that's where this whole thing with, hey, you know, Kusa can show you how to like aggressively op on like Mirage and like hop out this window and kill the guy backside. And I think that's where he really got in his head that I was out to replace him. So what ended up happening a couple months after we got Freakazoid and after we dropped Sabrosa was that there was a big like in-fight team like nuclear meltdown where I was actually benched from the team. And I was benched without like conversation for like a week, and I was kind of getting the hint of like, okay, I'm gone. Like I know I'm not getting like a direct message that I'm gone, but I'm gone. And I was in Irvine with Ghost at the time. I had moved to California. Like the whole team was supposed to, but it was just me, Neptune, and James Arrow, the coach, and then like the GM and the manager. Wardell didn't move out. Sabrosa didn't move out. Kusa didn't move out. So I'm there. I was there with my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, and we just said, okay, let's pack up and start driving home. We drove to California. So we start driving back, and we're doing like the long route. We're going like through Arizona, and then we're like kind of looping back around through like Nevada and then Utah and then Colorado. We're taking the long way home. And then we're getting to Colorado, where it's like after Colorado, it's Iowa, Nebraska. It's Nebraska, Iowa, and then you're basically like right back into Toronto. And that's when I get a call like, hey, give us another day.
Oh, you're halfway through this journey.
I'm halfway through this journey. They're like, give us another day. Because what had happened was they thought that they could kind of just like go on without me, and I wasn't like an important piece of the puzzle. And then they almost lost like some like main teams and some qualifiers, and like this isn't working. They had brought Sabrosa back, and I don't know who between like Sabrosa or Freakazoid was IGL. It doesn't matter. They were struggling hard, and I don't know who initiated it, but from the team they're like, yeah, we kind of need Steel. So everyone had to fucking suck it up and swallow their pride. Wardell, I'm sure, had to. I had to. I'm just like, well, I could choose right now to say fuck you to them and go away, or I could kind of like take the high road, suck it up, just say, you know what, fuck it. We have all these issues. I know this person hates me. I know that this is a huge issue. It's gonna like overshadow everything. I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna man up. I'm gonna do this, because if I do this, I can prove that even if like things aren't going well, I can prove that I'm going to be professional. I'm going to show up. I'm not going to like abandon anything I commit to. And I thought that would reflect really well on my character. So I'm just like, okay, I'll rejoin you guys. And when I rejoined, we tried to make things work. We went to all these events. We had like the iBuyPower invitation. Actually, that happened way before that. That happened in January, and I got benched in February. So I forget what other events. We had like a CS Summit, I think, and we had like a couple of other events.
Which like DreamHack Tours again?
Yeah, actually, yeah, we did DreamHack Tours, but Freakazoid didn't have his passport renewed, so he couldn't get on the flight. So we played with the coach, and there was that issue. It was a lot of mess. But basically, at the end of that whole journey, it was time for contract renegotiations, and because 3 of us signed in June of 2018. When it was time to like renegotiate, we had the one-on-ones with the the CEO, and we're explaining everything. And I said, look, like I'm really not happy with like how this went down and how that went down, and how like everything that led up to that point went unnoticed, and how like, you know, we didn't have like all this hands-on stuff, and, you know, the team manager was like friends with like some of the players, and, you know, maybe there was like a conflict of interest there, and like the GM wasn't super aware of like what was going on, and this could have been prevented had we had more like hands-on stuff. Because when esports is going the direction right now of like GMs are kind of like the people that have the oversight, and then they install a coach, and that coach installs a team, and all the players are kind of like on the same level. And at that time in esports, it was kind of this weird thing where you have a team manager, you have a coach, and you have the GM, but and you have the IGL, who's got the authority, whose vision is it, who's doing all this stuff? And if it's the IGL's vision and everything, what is the coach's authority to, you know, if someone sleeps in or is late or whatever, not watching VODs, can he find them? Or whose job is that? Is it the team manager's job? Does he have the authority to? What if the team manager's friends with these guys? Is that going to happen? So what's the GM's responsibility? I think we're at a really weird place in time on that team where nobody knew what was going on with authority and accountability or anything, and that was just like caused like another huge load of issue. So when I was in my exit interview, I said like, hey, like something's got to give with like all this stuff, and if that doesn't happen, like I just don't want to do this again. And so I guess like after the conversations with everyone, they just said, you know what, we don't want to rebuild a roster, so F this, we're out. I don't know, there could have been like other things like financial things, or I don't know. I can't speak for like the owners and the CEO and everything, because I don't know specifically why. I could just say from my perspective, they probably saw that they couldn't keep the project together, and so it's like rebuild or just pull out entirely.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.